polyphonic sound for the home is recorded on 2 separate tracks, each one giving special emphasis to certain sections of the orchestra, as heard from those positions. Now, when played back simultaneously on 2 separate systems, the sounds are blended together to achieve a new dimension in sound, impossible to obtain in a monaural recording.
Hello and welcome to the finals of the Baltic Ultimate Club Championships indoors or Butsi, where we see Moments from Ogre taking on unbeaten Tartu Turbulence. Both of the teams are... no, Moments actually did lose one game earlier to Tartu Turbulence, but as we of course know, it is difficult to win twice against the same team, and we see the first, one of the first throws from Tartu is going a little bit awry. I'm Dmitry Doroshenko calling on this game and on most of this tournament yesterday and today. It's been a pleasure, but it's coming down to the last 2 games. First, we're going to have the women's finals that we are witnessing right now, and then we will have the open final, of course. Before that, we've had the matches for 5th place in open, then 3rd place in women's, and 3rd place in men's. Open. I'm not going to spoil the results for you. Go back and watch them. They are very, very exciting games. But we are now in the finals. Melania Kalovanova throws to Laura Samiete just on the doorstep, not quite in, and now disc is with Mikulica, back to Kalovanova, and Kalovanova once again to Samiete, but this time in the end zone, and Ogre Moments are starting that matchup with a break. All important break. One break can decide the outcome of these games sometimes. It's going to be an exciting game, I'm sure. The previous one finished with Tartu winning 12-9 against Moments, but I'm sure Moments had some difficult games before coming here, and won all the other games against all the other opponents. And now, once again, I think a high stall situation. Clara Leeds does everything to try to catch this disc, and she does catch it. Unfortunately, she does it out of bounds, and she's not able to mark it into the end zone for a score. So that is another opportunity for Moments for a break. Gulbe picks up, looks for an option, finds Lepina, then to Pastore, and now Butane with the disc. Butane is looking for options, finds Pastore, and Pastore with a very nice scuba into the end zone to Gulbe. Gulbe with the score. We see our production team, of course, from Latvia supporting the Ogre side, the Latvian side. Tartu coming from Tartu Ultimate is coming from Estonia. Nigol with the disc goes to Veske. Now lead with the disc, a scuba to Terra, and Terra into the end zone for Nigol, who makes it all the way from one end zone to the other for a score. Finally, Tartu is on the board. After 2 breaks, they finally managed to get a clean hold, clean offensive hold to themselves. Now they would need to, of course, put some defensive pressure on their opponents on moments, but that would be quite difficult, of course. And Elina Grenberga in the live chat going, Aiziet moments. Aiziet, indeed. We will see if they will manage to win that game. The second time of asking. They did lose their first matchup, as I've said. And Samiete now goes deep to Gulbe, and that is a clean hold for Ogre. Nice point, and yeah, Samiete is unsure if it was a good decision, but I mean, it worked out pretty well. And yeah, exchanging some words with Gundaga, who's also looking at her in a bit of a not really disbelief, but maybe approval. Yeah, that was a nice long pass over there. Moments once again coming on defense, and that pull was a little bit too long. Lintz is going to pick up, and she is going to start from a brick point, from a brick mark. Lintz goes to Leet. Leet fakes the Scuba. Takes a backhand, nothing really. Finally finds her teammate Lepik. Lepik back to Leet, back to Lepik with an upline and a Scuba to Veske, and that's not quite in yet, but ooh, that was almost hand blocked by Lepina, but instead Veske is coming down with it. Sorry, not Veske, it is Lepik once again, who goes into the end zone to help her teammate Veske, who was all alone on that line of the end zone. Once again, Tartu, another clean hole, finally finding their feet in the game, getting a bit of a rhythm. They've had some problems also in the one of the previous games, but then managed to get back and get some breaks back. So we will see if that will be the story of this game again. Oh, whoa, that was close, of course, but Pastore managed to get a step in front of Terra for that difficult reception. Now Gulbe with the disc goes with a Scuba to Kalavanova, who goes to Mikulica. Back to Kalavanova. Kalavanova looking for her options, goes to Mikulica, upline. Mikulica around to Gulbe. And Gulbe with another Scuba. Oh, she likes a Scuba. And great grab by Kalavanova. It was a very difficult catch, of course, there. And she's getting some hugs from her teammates and a thank you from Gulbe, I'm sure, as it was maybe a little bit too high. Nice, impressive grab there from Ogre. Another clean hold for them. And now Gulbe with the pull to Leet is fielding that. It's a dropped pull, but doesn't really matter. It's indoor. It just goes back to where it was. And yeah, Leet unfazed by that. Goes to Terra, back to Leet, and now to Lepik. Lepik to Lasmane and to Raba. Raba finds, I think it's Lepik. Yeah, Lepik. Back to Raba. Defense is running close, and Lasmane now finds some space. Lasmane to Leet. Leet back to Lasmane. Now to Lepik again, and back to Lasmane. Mostly handler work at the moment. Back to Raba. Nothing is going in at the moment. Good coverage by moment defenders. Raba with the disc. Finds looking for options, and Gundaga did react. Gundaga Pastore reacted to it, but unfortunately Lepik managed to step in front of her for a score, as we see on the replay. yeah, Pastore did react on it, but thought better of it, rather than creating some contact or dangerous play. In the end, Lepik is coming down with that score. Clean hold once again for Tartu. Close game, very close, despite 2 early breaks from Moments. I'm sure it can go either way. Bit of a loss of focus or anything, and that can, of course, swing the game into the other team's favor, as it is, of course, the final. So lots of pressure on these ladies. Mikulica now with the disc. Throws around to number 23, Ruta Butane. Back to Gulbe, now to Mikulica. Back to Gulbe. Is she going to throw a scuba? No, goes back to Mikulica. And to Butane once again. Butane is looking for options. Mikulica is relatively free, but elects to go to Samiete, and Samiete to Kalavanova. Her first touch in this point. And a hammer to Gulbe, and they couldn't decide if it was for Samiete or for Gulbe, and Veske was right in the middle of the two of them and probably in the best position for it. Despite the fact that she didn't see the disc, she was a deterrent factor there, of course, for the ladies, for the Moments ladies, to make a play on that disc, and neither of them did. Now Raba with the disc, with this break opportunity. Veske to Lintz, now to Terra, and Terra is surveying her options, needs to find something, high stall, but finds Veske finally. Veske to that's Nigol. And a hand block by Butane. Mikulica picks up for Moments for another opportunity for a hold. Samiete with the disc. Looks for something, goes back to Mikulica. Who finds Gulbe now. Is it going to be a scuba? Yes, it will be, but to Terra, not to Samiete, unfortunately. So Terra with another defensive effort, a successful defensive effort. Lintz picks up, goes back to Veske, who is in her end zone. Now Veske finds Terra to Nigol, and to a high disc to Raba, who manages to tow it in. Now to Lintz once again, and to Terra, who finds some space for her. To Lintz now, and into Nigol. A quick point. Yeah, Crystal is, as you see, she is exhausted, as is Samieta. That was a grueling, difficult point for them, but that means that Tartu is managing to get 1 break back on Moments. Score is 4-4. Ideally, Tartu would want to get another point, another break, of course, to bring it back on serve. And I'm quite sure that Moments called the timeout. Or maybe it was Tartu. Regardless of who called the timeout, I'm pretty sure that it was a wise choice, as this point was quite a difficult one, and both of the teams have relatively short rosters. Moments have 7 players, and while I think Tartu have 8 players. Yep, 8 players and 7 players, so relatively short bench. So lots of switches, of course, almost every point, and difficult one, of course, for the players. 4-4, equal score. Terra for Tartu is getting ready to pull. Fast pull, but still fielded by Gulbe. Now discus with Mikulica. Unfortunately, there are not a single cut going under. Finally, Gulba finds some space, and Samiete as well gets a bit of a space there. Goes back to Mikulica, to her teammate. High disc for Gulba. Back to Mikulica, and low disc for Samiete. No problem for her, and that disc was knocked away by Leet in the end zone. That disc was meant for Gulbe. She was showing higher. Should have been higher. Maybe should have been a little bit faster, but regardless of that, we cannot bring back that time. And the disc is now with Tartu for another opportunity for a break. Leet with the disc. Expensive fakes. Goes to Nigol. Nigol is looking and finding Lepik. Not far from the end zone, and she finds Nigol for a bit of a 1-2 into the end zone. And nice break, another break for Tartu. Yeah, as I was saying, despite going down by 2 breaks in the early stages of the game, Tartu has been unfazed and got 2 breaks to themselves. And now it's back on serve, so Tartu is up 5-4. Moments need to hold if they want to win, and if they, of course, want to try to break Tartu themselves. Linz with the pull. That pull goes to Mikulica into the end zone. Very nice pull. Pastore now with the reception. Gets this disc. Swing, scoobery swing to Samiete. Then to Mikulica, and disc again with Pastore. Is it going to be another scoober? No, a hammer instead to Butane. Butane doesn't elect to take any relatively open options. Instead goes to Kalavanova next to the end zone. Kalavanova unsure if she has an open. Oh no, that channel was definitely closed by Lepik, and Lepik now goes one better and throws it to Linz for 3 breaks in a row for Tartu. Ooh, fancy footwork by Crystal Linz in the end zone, and moments are asking questions. What happened after the first 3 points of the game, where they did pretty well and got 2 early breaks, and now Tartu are getting 3 breaks in a row by himself, so a game of runs, a bit of a game of runs. And Estonians are looking a lot more confident, of course, at the moment, and moments are asking questions. And let's see if they will finally manage to find a clean hold to themselves. Disc is with Lepina. Back to Mikulica. Now Pastore back to Lepina. Lepina looking for options and finds Gulba. It's a difficult reception, and a scoober into the end zone to Pastore. Was a little bit too far for her, for Gundega Pastore to handle, and she was not able to score that point. Now disc picked up by Tartu, by Helen Terra. Now to Lasmane and into Nigol. Nigol goes backwards to Raba, and I think there was a bit of a pick hold. So Raba is going to stay with the disc. Stall is probably 2 or 3. Oh no, stalling 1. Raba to Leet. Leet looking for options and finds Raba with a hammer. Lasmane now with the disc. Another hammer to Terra. High disc. Looking for an option for something open. Lasmane is open now, Terra, and to Raba, and Raba is calling a timeout, a wise timeout. Of course, another opportunity for a break for Tartu to get a commanding lead, of course, and to win this half, possibly win this half. If Tartu is going to score this point, it's going to be, they're going to win the half, as it is 6-4. And despite the fact what you see on the clock of 8 minutes, if you look a little bit higher, you will see 14 minutes and 4 seconds. So the red clock is the correct one. We still have about 15 minutes in this game left, not 8. You will, of course, hear the obnoxiously loud buzzer when a bit of a commentator's curse. And yeah, that means that when this point will be finished, regardless of who is going to win at this point, it's going to be a halftime break after this point. But Tartu is going to pick up the disc. Raba, I think it's going to be stalling one, marked by Samiete. And offense set, defense set, disc is checked in. Raba, looking for options, needs to go back to Leeds. Leeds with expensive pivots, and goes to Raba with a bit of a blade. Raba, looking for options with a smile on her face, goes to Leeds. Leeds to Terra. Lead. Terra goes backwards to Lasmane. To Nigol. Now to Raba once again. And oh, amazing defensive effort by Pastore, who gets up a little bit gingerly, but she looks to be all right. And great layout D over there. That disc was going to Terra, but not near Gundega Pastore on the defense. Now Moments, another opportunity for a hold. Disc with Lepina. Lepina to long throw to Pastore. Is it going to be bookends? It will be bookends, yes. Layout defense and a goal in the end zone for a hold. 6-5, that means that virtually, essentially, Tartu Turbulence is winning the first half of this game. They are up 6-5. And I think they are up by a break. So they will be receiving the first point of the next half. And they will have a bit of an advantage, of course, in the next point. Don't go anywhere. We will be back with you in a few seconds after this halftime break. The moments where Ogre is finding themselves quite a ways down. I think a one break down on Tartu after an early lead of 2 breaks. Tartu managed to find another gear and score 3 breaks in a row. In the end of the previous half, finally Ogre managed to get a hold, and this time I was actually wrong. So Ogre are receiving the disc for the second half and working their way up to their opponent's side, opponent's half, and Kalavanova tried her best to elevate for the disc, but she had double coverage by 2 defenders, and she wasn't able to snatch it out of the sky, out of the air for a score. That gives another opportunity for Tartu Ultimate for a break. Terra with the disc. Goes relatively deep to Lepik. Lepik looking for options, finds Raba near the end zone. Raba fakes. I think there was maybe a bit of a call on the bump, a bump on the mark, but goes to Nigol. No, sorry, that's Lepik. Veske now with the disc to Terra. Terra to Leeds. How many times have we seen that connection? Many would be the answer. And that is another break for Tartu. 7-5. The first half was short, so it was finished at 6-5. So this half, it's this. We are in the second half, of course. 7-5. Where Tartu are having, quite a good lead. I think 2 points can make all the difference, of course, in this game. Lintz with the pull. Is it too high? No, it's a perfect pull. Mikulica fields the pull, starts but can't really find anything, and it's a high stall count situation. Pastore in a perfect position to grab this out of the sky, not quite in yet, but goes with a blade to Gulbe and back to Pastore with another blade for a very nice point, but a difficult one definitely to handle. Our producer, Jakub Zeglitis, a supporter of Ogre, is showing that his mind was blown after this point. A difficult one, of course. Maybe could have been a little bit easier. But despite that, it is still a clean hold for Ogre, who now find themselves in a situation where they really need some breaks if they want to win this game. As Tartu are a couple of breaks up on them at the moment, and also receiving the disc in this point. Lintz is going to get the disc. She goes to Lasmane. Lasmane surveying her options. Goes back to Lintz for an upline cut. Lintz, I think, are asking her defender to step back a little bit. Finds Raba. Raba to Lasmane, to Lintz. Now goes to Nigol. Nigol to Lasmane. Lasmane to Leeds. On the far sideline, a little bit trapped and marked by Kalavanova, but finally finds Raba with a scuba. Lintz with the disc and goes into the end zone for Leeds, and that is called in for a clean hold. 8-6 is the score at the moment. We have about 6 minutes left in this game, so not so much time for Ogre, not so much time to spare, of course, to try to win this game. It's a difficult contest, of course, for Ogre, but I'm sure that they are up to the task. Of course, they broke the Tartu side earlier in the game. I think the first 2 points were breaks. If you haven't seen that, go watch it. It was exciting, of course, and maybe some people already thought that this is the end of the game, but no, Tartu decided to go a few better, and it is called not in. Let's see the replay if we have it. That is, I can't really see. I personally would not be comfortable to make this call, as I couldn't see when the control of the disc was actually controlled, because there were a few stutter steps near the line. But you can see it yourselves once again. Well, players agreed that it was a point, which is absolutely fine. Of course, and it was called in for Ogre, 8-7. Still 2 breaks down. With 4.5 minutes on the clock in this championship game. Linz now receives the disc for Tartu. Goes to Nigol. Nigol looking for her options, can't really find anything. High stall count, probably 5-6, finds lead finally. And Skuber, high Skuber, Pastore manages to knock it away in front of Terra. Maybe that disc was a little bit too slow and too floaty, but still Pastore managed to knock it away. Now Mikulica with the disc in an opportunity to get a break back on Tartu, and nice forehand blade to Gulbe from Pastore, who is you can call it double happiness, of course. She had a defense and then she had an assist, so well done for her. Good job. Great awareness and good composure by the Moments player. So the 2 break opportunity, advantage is now only 1 break advantage for Tartu. 3 minutes on the clock. Couple of snowmen on the board. Linz now with the disc. Goes to Raba. Raba looking for her options, finds Terra for an upline cut, and now goes to Lepik, and Lepik with a blade to Raba, but unfortunately it was too difficult for her to handle. The disc fell too fast. She had both of the hands on it, but she could not close it on time, and that disc was turned over. So Ogre has an opportunity to get an equalizer in terms of breaks and actually get the lead in this game. Let's see. Mikulica with the disc. Goes to Samiete in her own end zone. At the moment, Liepina surveying options, finds Mikulica, high disc, and Samiete was running into the end zone and was asking for the disc from Mikulica, but that channel was closed, and instead she came back. And now Kalavanova goes to Lepina, and that bounces off her hands. Oh, unfortunate. Yeah, we see Ogre ladies, they're quite tired. It is, of course, a long match and a long tournament, and oh no. Yeah, maybe it was a little bit too far for her, for Lepina, but she will be gutted, of course, of not being able to get this disc. Now Linz gonna pick up for another opportunity for a hold for Tartu. Goes to Raba. This time Raba grabs this disc well, even though with one hand, and not an easy grab, but still Linz to Lepik. Lepik goes to Veske. Veske back to Linz. Linz to Terra. High take. Nice one. Lepik to Terra, and Terra is wide open there, and a pick was called, unsurprisingly. Of course, yeah, there are 3 players over there. None of them reacted to Terra. I don't believe that. I'm pretty sure that, yeah, one of them was blocked by the other, and they are deciding who is going to catch up to Terra. There we go. Kalavanova is going to mark Terra. Veske with the disc finds Linz. Linz to Terra. Linz to Rava. Terra to Rava. At the moment, yes. But what is going to be the score? We don't know yet. The time is over. Veske with the disc. Rava now. We're going to have a game to 10. Lepik with the disc. Rava was asking for it, but she was covered pretty well. Lepik goes to Linz instead. Linz are looking for options, finds Lepik once again. Lepik goes it back again to Veske. Veske to Raba. Near that end zone line, and also important for a score, and it is a score for Lepik. Game to 10. The score is 9-8 to Tartu. Still advantage Tartu. So regardless of what happens next, Tartu will be receiving if we have a universe point. And if Tartu managed to break Ogre once again, that might be game over and the championship for Tartu. We will see. That pool was bricked, and Mikulica is going to bring it to the brick mark to start this contest, this final 1 or 2 points of the game. Disc is now with, oh no! Oh no, that is unfortunate for Mikulica, who was not sure if the disc was meant for her. Regardless, it bounced off her hands, and yeah, that gives a golden opportunity, literally golden opportunity for Tartu, and that might rob us of a opportunity of a universe point. But I'm sure that Tartu will take it regardless. Now, Nigel with the disc. Finds Lasmane. Goes backwards to Veske, and Veske into the end zone for Terra for the championships. That is it, ladies and gentlemen. 10-8. Tartu are the Baltic Ultimate Club champions indoor. So Estonia is going to bring home some medals and the title and, of course, bragging rights. Congratulations to Estonians, commiserations to Latvians. Moments played an exciting game, but Tartu Ultimate were unbeaten the whole 2 days. They did not lose a single game, and that is one of the closest games that they actually had. 10-8 is the result, and yeah, I recommend you to watch the next game as well. It's going to be men's finals. It's going to be the Latvian showdown, Ventspils against Salaspils, and thank you for everyone watching right now. 64 of you watching now. Give us a like, give us a subscribe. We will bring you more live Ultimate, and don't go anywhere. We will be back in a few minutes with the open final. Ventspils taking on Salaspils. Don't go anywhere, and see you very soon.